Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There seems to be a surprising turn in the Syrian conflict. Concerning Israeli media reports, Russia launches an offensive against the Islamic State, IS in short, which has occupied large parts of Syria and Iraq. Until now, Moscow wasn't involved in any military operations. But now, Russia is said to have established a military base near the city of Damascus in Syria, from where they could attack the Islamistic militia. The Israeli newspaper Ynet states that in addition to military advisors and thousands of soldiers, also fighter jets were moved to this region. But what might have changed the mind of Russia to do that? From the Russian point of view, the coalition with Saudi Arabia and Turkey, led by the US, has proven incapable to force back the IS. This raises two questions. Is this coalition indeed incapable to fight the IS successfully? Or maybe they don't want that at all? At this point, we want to remind of the Iraq War in 2003. From March 20th to May 1st, Iraq was being defeated and President Saddam Hussein overthrown in only 41 days. That means in only 6 weeks the case was settled. And this was possible although Iraq was considered a well-armed state which endangered allegedly the whole Middle East region with their weapons of mass destruction, yes, actually the whole world. In this context, it is hard to imagine that the US war machine can't actually force back the IS militia. Obviously, they don't want that at all. But why does Putin interfere in the Middle East conflict just now? Russia and Syria traditionally are close allies, economically as well as on a military level. The harbor of the Syrian town Tartus has a great strategic importance for Russia because it is the only Mediterranean port of the Russians. At further advancements of the IS units toward this military harbor, Russia could lose this important naval base if they should continue to hesitate. Furthermore, the supply of equipment and weapons are at stake without which the government of Assad could have never carried on for such a long time. By means of his interference, just at this time, Putin reveals the incapability, respectively, the inactivity of the USA. In this way, he reveals the real motive, which is, Assad has to go, no matter who removes him. Suitably to this motive, US President Obama said, I quote, "In Syria, the only way that the civil war will end, and in a way so that the Syrian people can unite against ISIL, is an inclusive political transition to a new government without Bashar al-Assad, a government that serves all Syrians." Unquote. The impact of this strategy, the removal of Assad, should surely lead to a destabilization of the whole Middle East region, so to speak, a second Libya. By the removal of the Libyan leader Gaddafi and the following destabilization of North Africa since 2011, the largest wave of refugees since World War II was initiated in the first place. A complete collapse of the political structures in Syria will without a doubt show in further waves of refugees in the whole of Europe and overstrain the European states even more in an economic, social and political way. The Russian President Putin commented on this as follows: Europe blindly follows the American directives and now carries this heavy burden. Unquote. In other words, the US, through their Near East politics, has caused the refugee crisis in Europe and is to be blamed for it. The USA isn't concerned about successfully combating the IS. Otherwise, they wouldn't have become so powerful or removed a long time ago. Rather, the US is advancing the complete destabilization of the entire Near East and the European continent in their own interest. In this way, the US globalists approach step by step their aim to finally take absolute control of all countries of the earth. Here it once again becomes obvious that the Syrian conflict is not just a regional hotspot. Currently, Russia is challenged as opponent to the global US dominance, be it in the confrontation with Ukraine or in the so-called Syrian civil war.